Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this special live storm coverage here brought to you by Detailed Electrical. For all of your electrical needs, give them a call before the storm or after the storm. Brad over there will take good care of you. Tonight, we are looking at the severe potential for tomorrow. This has been an exhausting day here. Actually, the last 24 hours from last night into and throughout the day today has just been 100% exhausting with tornado warning after tornado warning. We saw some particularly dangerous situations. We saw tornado emergencies today across portions of Mississippi and extending into Alabama. It's been a crazy day here as we've been live streaming most of it for you last night. I apologize, I did not come on and do an update. I was a little under the weather. I'm still not feeling too great today, but it's important that we get this information out to you guys for tomorrow. So I apologize that I did not have an update on this last night. But if you saw my update during the live stream today, this afternoon, it was like around 1 o'clock or so, I was able to give you a little bit of an update on what the weather looks like moving into our area for tomorrow. But again, I apologize for last night. Just very under the weather. Was not feeling very well at all. With an extreme headache, I just could not talk anymore on camera to you guys. I would have felt bad to even do that. So, what are we looking at here for tomorrow? We are looking at the slight risk of severe weather along the Grand Strand here, extending all the way out through Columbia and into the western portions of the state. And as you get over towards the state line, over at Tennessee and Georgia, we're looking at that marginal risk of severe weather, and past there, general thunderstorm risk here. So, what are we seeing happening right now? Well, there's a little bit of stable air kind of working into the Alabama area right now. Somewhere around in this area right here is a little bit of stability moving in there. That will eventually erode here, and overnight tonight we will see probably some more tornado activity within the Alabama and extending into Georgia in the overnight hours here. So this is not completely over for those areas right now, but eventually that is going to push east here through the overnight hours and into the early morning hours, especially for areas of Greenville and around the Columbia area of South Carolina. So we are definitely not out of the woods yet as far as severe weather goes, and that severe threat's going to continue all the way over here to the coast tomorrow. So we definitely want to be staying aware tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a stay aware day here for the Grand Strand and our Myrtle Beach viewing area. So unfortunately, our chase vehicle is still at the wrap company getting wrapped. So we will not be chasing tomorrow, but I will be providing live coverage on this throughout the entire event until these storms are off the coast. So we will have live updates on that. So be sure to head over to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, tap the bell button so that way you get notified when we do go live. I will try to have the live on Facebook as well, but today Facebook kind of wanted to kick our live stream off for some reason. They didn't like the fact that we were streaming for hours on hours, but YouTube didn't mind at all, so we're going to continue to stream that to YouTube. So if we do break off tomorrow on Facebook, make sure you head over to our YouTube channel and you can follow it there. I would prefer the people to be on YouTube as well. It's just a little bit easier as far as the stream goes. But what are we looking at here as far as the timeline? So we're going to hop over here and take a peek at the HRRR model here. This is the latest run. And right now we are out at 1 a.m. here on this model. And you can see still a very active line of thunderstorms and severe weather capable of producing long track tornadoes here at this point. And as we work through the morning, so this will be 2 a.m., 3 a.m., we start to see storms start working into the Greenville area of South Carolina, the western portions of North Carolina, getting into the Asheville area. Those areas could look to receive some severe weather as well as we move in to 4 a.m. here, 5, 6 a.m., 7, you can start to see this line really start to break up into what's more of a discrete storm mode here. So we're right here, we're still kind of linear here as it enters the western portions of the state, and then eventually breaks up into this discrete. And by 7 a.m., we have a bunch of discrete, isolated, severe thunderstorms as we start moving into the morning hours at 7 a.m. So this is probably what we're going to be dealing with through most of the day tomorrow. This widespread severe event is probably least likely at this current moment. But the chance for significant severe weather does exist out along this line of showers and storms as it comes and works down the East Coast here. So definitely can't rule out the fact that we could see a tornado or two. That is a very low chance, but not zero. So I want to stress that with the possibility of seeing a tornado, the conditions are very favorable. If we can get these supercells to kind of come together a little bit, we could possibly see that tornado risk. Our main risk here throughout the day tomorrow is going to be damaging wind gusts. We could see some straight line winds with this system. We could see those tornadoes. Definitely going to see those wind gusts though, 100%. And even without the severe thunderstorms, we're still looking 35, 40 mile an hour winds extending even up into the 50s out ahead. And that's well out ahead of this line as it starts to work through. Now, as we get out to about 10 a.m. here, we start looking at what looks to be more of a linear type storm here, which can still produce those tornadoes, but now we're starting to talk a little bit more about those straight line winds here as this system starts to go into the area. And then out to about 12 o'clock, we start to see those pretty mature storms here still at that point working through the Florence area, Marion, Mullins area, and extending all the way down through Moncks Corner and Charleston area as well out at 12 o'clock. So, and then as we get into 1 o'clock, those storms get a little bit closer, but still maintaining that linear storm mode here at that point. So wind gusts are going to become a concern here as we kind of move through that 1 o'clock hour. And here's out at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, things start to become a little bit more discrete here. We've got some singular storms down here and in more of the Georgetown, Charleston area as well. So definitely not out of the question to see some extreme wind gusts here throughout the day tomorrow, and that severe thunderstorm, maybe even that tornado threat as well. I do believe, though, if we do see the tornado threat, we'll look at the upper level and lower level winds here in a few minutes here, but I do think that if we're going to see that again, it's going to be more towards the central portion of South Carolina. And then as we get a little bit closer to the coast, some of these supercells that form up here may produce those tornadoes as we get a little bit closer, because this kind of lingers into that whatever instability is left kind of lingers around up here into North Carolina, up around Kitty Hawk and those areas. But eventually, as we move into about 1 a.m. Tomorrow night, everything, or Monday morning, everything is off the coast and moving well away from here. So that severe threat is going to be over by the evening hours here, going into the overnight hours. Now, what is this? What are we looking at here as far as winds? Well, let's start at the 500 millibar, and we'll take that back here. So this is 500 millibar. This is very high in the atmosphere, but what I want to show you is that wind shear. And this is, here's 7 a.m. We're looking, out here in the western portions of the state, 90 knot winds at 500 millibar, 113 knot winds, and you can out here a little bit further into Georgia, and you can see as we go through even into about 1 o'clock, we're still entering into the western portions of the state. We have these 107 knot winds up aloft at the 500 millibar level. And if we bring that down to the 850, this is several thousand feet off the surface, so about 5,000 feet or so, give or take. when we get into the overnight hours coming into, this will be 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock in the morning, we're looking at those 70 mile an hour or 70 knots winds here out in western portions of South Carolina. And if we bring up a sounding here, I can kind of show you. Um, this particular sounding here calls for marginal severe thunderstorms, but you can see those turning. If you look here where my mouse cursor is, you can see those turnings with the winds as they come aloft. Not as dynamic as they were, say, a couple days ago here, but definitely got some good wind shear here for our area and into western portions of the state as well. So the wind shear is definitely there. Conditions are favorable for tornadoes to spin off here, as some of these discrete storms want to move through these portions. Now, if we come out here to 1 o'clock, if we get out here to 1 o'clock, we're still looking at a 57 knot wind aloft here, just several thousand feet off the ground. And if we take a peek at a sounding there, marginal severe for us again. But here we've got some really good turning with the winds as they go aloft. So definitely keeping an eye on the wind shear. Conditions are favorable. However, what we're missing here, the big factor that we're missing is our instability. So you can see instability is just really, really low here as we move through the next 12 to 24 hours here. And that is really what is considered our storm fuel. So that's really what's going to ramp up these storms to become severe. We can still add in the wind here because there is a cold front behind this system that's going to be pushing those winds to the east here. So definitely that case for the severe wind threat here for us tomorrow, and damaging wind threat. But as far as the actual supercells, thunderstorms that will produce tornadoes, out here around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we do have a little bit of instability that kind of works in off the coast. We're looking at 1,304 joules per kilogram. So not a very robust amount of instability here for the area, but we do have enough to produce some isolated severe thunderstorms. And even out here in the portions of the central portions of South Carolina, 1,414 joules per kilogram for unstable Cape here. So definitely a little bit of instability there, but not quite enough to really, if we go back here just a little bit and we look at, like, say, portions of southern Mississippi and southern Alabama, you can see well over 2,000 joules per kilogram. Those are the high numbers that we're looking at as far as the significant severe outbreaks here. So for us here along the Grand Strand, looking between that 2 to 4 range, 1 to 4, I would even say, we do see that possibility for some of those discrete cells to become severe. And bring us some severe weather as well. But we cannot rule out some severe weather for tomorrow. And we can look at what is this. So what do all these things that come together and create thunderstorms say here? So we have a really nice little tool here called the supercell composite. So this is surface-based supercell composite. You can see out here just before 1 o'clock here, 15Z, so if you go out through, we'll run this out 15Z through 1 o'clock here. You can definitely see that supercell composite really bounce around here a little bit, and that's because a lot of these storms that we're going to see are going to be more of those discrete severe thunderstorms as we kind of move through the afternoon and into the early evening hours. So we do ramp up here a little bit with some supercell capabilities here as we get into the evening and overnight hours, but quickly moves out of here, and the threat, it ends there in the overnight hours. So as far as significant tornadoes, we'll take a look at this significant tornado parameter here. Overall, very low numbers across the board. We do see some ramp up here, but really just nothing indicating, a very strong tornado outbreak or severe thunderstorm outbreak here for our area as we move through the day tomorrow. But like I said, we cannot rule out the fact that we could see damaging wind gusts. Wind's going to be the primary threat here. So if you have unsecured objects in your yard outside, probably should head out this evening here before you go to bed and just secure those items and make sure they're safe and good to go, because we don't want items flying by and damaging somebody else's property and things like that. So definitely want to pay attention to the wind tomorrow. We will be live and letting you guys know of any severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings, just like we were today, except we're going to be a little bit more hyper-focused tomorrow on those, as well as being here on screen with you guys. It's not just going to be a radar feed. We'll be here on screen talking about these severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings, anything that's coming into our area that could be of any kind of danger here for the people here in South Carolina. So definitely going to be well aware tomorrow of everything that is going on. We will keep you informed all day long, and looking at the timing as well. Recently, the past couple storms we've had that we've been live here, our timeline's been way off. A lot of these have really just ramped up in speed, in forward motion towards the east here, and so I'm looking at right now impacts here along the Grand Strand anywhere from like that 11 to 4 is what I'm gonna say, because we could see some of those supercell or some of those thunderstorms, showers and thunderstorms pop off and fire off here a little bit out ahead of everything else. But let's just take a really quick look back here at the composite reflectivity here and see if we can get a little bit of a close time frame here as far as when we could potentially see those storms. So here we are out at, we're at 12 o'clock here. You can start seeing some of these, but even into like portions of like Marion, Florence area, that's going to be around 11. So I always count Florence into the viewing area as well here for the Grand Strand, but definitely looking 11 through, I'd say before our major threat of severe weather ends, I would say it would probably be probably 6 to 7. So anywhere between 11 and 7 p.m. we could see that the chances of severe thunderstorms. Now this is based off of the models. So as we get a little bit into the day tomorrow and we see the speed at which these storms are accelerating across the eastern South Carolina, then we'll have a better time frame. And as always, we're going to let you know when the severe threat is over for our area. But you just never really know 100%. Models are great, but they're not always 100% perfect. They're never 100% perfect, but we try as hard as we can to get as close as we can to the forecast here and get you guys really good information. But, like I said, we're basing everything off of the models here. So, so far looking a lot better for our area than what they're dealing with in Mississippi and Alabama and even Tennessee today, and what they dealt with in the Midwest last night and into the early morning hours this morning. So not looking at a tornado outbreak, a massive severe thunderstorm outbreak here, but definitely something to keep an eye on tomorrow as we move through the day. And like I said, we will be live right here on Facebook and YouTube. If Facebook for some reason kicks it out, we will make sure you have the link to our YouTube page as well, so you can we know that YouTube's going to keep our content up no matter what the case, but Facebook seems to be a little wonky here lately, so we will definitely make sure that if we lose the feed on Facebook, you can get right over to YouTube and check that out. But I do recommend, if you haven't done so yet, head over to our YouTube page and hit the subscribe button, and also tap that little bell button so that way you get notified when we do go live. But again, overall, not looking like a too terrible of a day tomorrow, but we will keep you guys aware all day long. We will be live probably from the early morning hours through the rest of the day tomorrow, and hopping in and out as we see fit here to talk about any kind of severe weather as well. I will give you guys blasts here on Facebook and probably do some posts on YouTube as well, as we are about to go live and discuss certain situations. So we will have tons of data coming to you guys tomorrow, but please bear with me. Like I said before, I am only one person. I do this all by myself. I don't have an entire team behind me working with me to blast stuff out on social media and talk to you guys at the same time, talk you through these storms as they're working through. But please bear with me. I do my best to bring you guys the best quality information that we possibly can. So until then, you guys stay safe, and I'll make sure you stay aware. And I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning right